Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
We are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 294th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we're asking the question, are you eating for your blood type? Dun, dun, dun. Lots to cover there. But before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to go over. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com, not just to listen to this episode, but thank you, but have you gone to download the episode through the Podbean app? If you haven't, please do so immediately. If you download the app, then you can put in your comments, and then you can tell us, what is your blood type? Do you eat in accordance to your blood type? Do you totally disagree with this proposal? Want to hear it all. So definitely make sure you do that. Now, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you cannot get another app on it, a couple of tears will be shed, but fret not, you can still support the show by going to WokeNFree.com, going on the Listen tab, and then picking your platform of choice where you can follow and subscribe to the show. So we're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world where most podcasts are consumed. You will find this show. So make sure you do that. And additionally, if you want to do it through the Podbean app, you can do so at WokeNFree.com. So in addition to that, we would love to engage and for you to follow along on the conversations we have on social media. So you can find WokeNFree on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then, of course, if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, we'd love for you to review the show. Why? Because by you giving your honest, open, WokeNFree feedback, we know how the show is feeding into your life. So how do you do it? Go to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to review the show. And we thank you in advance for your 5-star reviews. Ha ha ha.
Good.
Kicking it to you, Khalil.
Before we engage you in this bloody conversation, we
my
like
God.
to share a little bit about ourselves.
Sicko.
This is what the topic is about. This is not what I
Game
made
of
up.
Thrones, sicko.
It is a bloody conversation that we are
Jeez
talking
Louise.
about today. But before that, we're going to do what we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to ask a question. Have you ever played the original Xbox console?
You're foolish.
Am I? This is a question that now it's
Why
actually
is this relevant?
Because now we're decades out from the original release of the
So how old are you today?
Xbox.
Is that the question?
No, but also lets people know if you're like, what did you do in those years? Were you a
In the
gamer?
golden years?
Or were you reading golden books? Or are you playing golden games? I mean, what were you doing?
Reading golden books.
See,
You were playing golden games.
there's more to it though. That's why it's good to ask this kind of question.
I don't even know what you mean. Like, what year are you referring to?
What year? It would be around I think it's 2005 or
2005? Okay.
it might have been
So-
2006. It might have been. 2000 and it was
Was
2005.
it before or after freshman year of at Penn State?
It was around freshman year.
Okay. So then
It was out during that point, but it might have been out before.
college in 2004, so beyond that point.
It might have been out before then, but yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was still around then. There was no Xbox 360 hadn't come out yet.
Okay, so my answer to that would be yes. If someone I was had that available on campus at Penn State, you would know that answer more than I would. So
so you can't even say just you don't remember if
No.
you did or not.
Too much time and trauma has happened.
Oh, man. Well,
So if
I can
if
answer
you
this
recall
question for
that,
you.
Then yes, sure.
So, the answer for Natasha Nurse is she has played the original
Cool.
Xbox
Sounds
console.
awesome.
And it's interesting. You don't realize which
Halo.
game it was. Yeah, that was the first game you ever played.
That was
that was your first Xbox
console, but
game,
I wasn't
most likely.
sure. I didn't want to make
You may have played. I mean, if you played before, I don't know if you'd remember.
I played. What's the Zelda?
You played GameCube.
Thing I played that. Yeah,
but you didn't. You may have not played Xbox. That's the thing. So, but in college, you definitely played Xbox. You played Halo, and then you played Halo too. So you were able to play both. And me,
terribly, let everyone know.
I mean, yeah, you picked up the controller.
I'm not a good player in that regard. Yeah.
No, you picked the controller up though. You definitely were holding the controller. You saw it.
Yeah.
You pressed the buttons, so you did
Facts.
that.
Yep.
And I'm a gamer, so I definitely played the original Xbox. I played it. I think I played it the same year it came out. Now I don't remember which game I played because, that's taking it too far back. I'm not sure what their original release game was, but it was some game, and I played. I've never owned it though. I'm a Sony fan, so.
But we do have Xbox.
Yeah, now we have Xbox because they make good Blu-ray players and media entertainment devices, so I do have it for that, but I'm more of a Sony type, and there are different types of gamers just as there are different blood types, right?
Sad.
It's a true statement, though.
True facts, yes.
You have blood types, you have O, you have A, you have AB, you have B, the different alphabets.
Putting it all out there, yep.
Yeah, and it's very similar to what we just discussed, but what we found out is, did you realize you can eat for your blood type, actually? There's different foods that are specialized depending on what blood type you have.
Yeah.
And, maybe you can actually explain what does that mean to eat for your blood type.
Yes, absolutely. So, on WebMD, there is a really interesting breakdown that really, I would say, could be mind-blowing if you've never thought about your blood type and then your eating habits in conjunction to that. But this is how they explain it. So type O blood, with a lot of excitement there because you and I are both O positive.
We're both.
Blood type folks, including our son, because we're both O positive. And so that should coincide with a high protein diet, heavy on lean meat, poultry, fish, and vegetables, and light on grains, beans, and dairy. And there's also a recommendation that there's certain various supplements that could help with tummy troubles and other issues that tend to happen with folks with type O blood. Then type A blood, folks with that type of blood should have a meat-free diet based on fruits and vegetables, beans, legumes, and whole grains, and ideally organic and fresh because folks with type A blood have a sensitive immune system. Interesting.
Organic.
And then type B blood folks should be eating or should avoid corn, wheat, buckwheat, lentils, tomatoes, peanuts, and sesame seeds. Chicken is also problematic, and there's an encouragement that eating green vegetables, eggs, certain meats, and low-fat dairy is ideal for folks with type B blood. And then lastly, type AB, foods to focus on would include tofu, seafood, dairy, and green vegetables. And then folks with type AB tend to have low stomach acid, so should avoid caffeine, alcohol, smoked or cured meats. Very interesting.
Wow, so you could see the type O blood type is the one that got recommended to meat, really. Pretty much, yeah. That, like, for our blood type that and I would agree that the more that we double down on, like, lean meats, I would say I can feel better and I feel stronger and less belly issues and stuff like that, yeah. But what was weird is I never heard of chicken being problematic for anybody, so that's very interesting too. Yeah, I mean, that's a recommendation on the site. Folks can, take it as they see fit. I would preface this that regardless of whatever you read on the internet, you should definitely speak with a professional about any specific things, because even within your blood type, there's one blood type isn't a monolith, right? Like you're going to have your own nuances and nutritional requirements. So really, I've had meetings with a nutritionist. You need to speak to a nutritionist. Speak with a nutritionist. Speak with your primary doctor. Even do blood work potentially. Do
put the time and energy into figuring out what works best for your body, because, the internet is filled with a lot of good information, but it's not custom to you and your needs.
Yeah, and to say that, this information comes from Dr. Peter Diadamo, or I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right, but he's a neuropathic physician, actually, who wrote the book that was called Eat Right for Your Type.
I think I heard of that. Yeah.
That's where that information's pulled for. So this is kind of like this is new research. This isn't something that has been
long-standing.
Yeah, long-standing, and I haven't seen that much more kind of information out around it besides like his new work. So just you got to take that with a grain of salt as well. It's only, if you're only having one source that's saying this, is this the true thing to follow? You gotta, it's something to think about, and it's definitely something to look into. But don't take it as the holy grail of what you should be eating. I think a dietitian can give you some,
would be super helpful.
Yeah, they can give you some really good tips on there. So I found a site that referenced his book again, and they actually they put his information into a table. So they mentioned very specific foods. So for something like lamb, they said blood type O, B, AB, they would recommend that. But blood type A, they should not have any lamb. Yeah. Ham, it said actually should not be eaten by any blood type in the list.
Interesting.
For kale, it said it's recommended for all blood types. So.
Of course it is. Yeah.
It's a nice,
the most delicious thing to eat.
A nice, nutritious vegetable people should eat. And then whole wheat bread, it's actually considered acceptable, but for all blood types, but for blood type AB, or actually no, I said it wrong. It's so whole wheat bread is actually not. It's something that shouldn't be eaten by most blood types except for AB. That's the only one where you can have it.
For those
you can have it. They don't necessarily recommend it, but it's like you can eat it. But for any other blood type, if you're not AB, you should not eat whole wheat bread.
Not
according to the doctor. Yeah, do not eat that. And the table goes on and on, so we included that link in there so you can see some of the recommendations that it gives for your blood type. And instead of, if you want to go out, you could read the direct source of the book.
And read the book too.
Yeah, but at least you have this little table to see what it's mentioning. What do you think are the pros and cons to eating for your blood type?
So on verywellfit.com, they list out good pros and cons I think we should consider. So for pros, it encourages exercise. The blood type diet encourages exercise. Research shows that regular exercise combined with a healthy diet can lead to weight loss and promote weight management. However, there is no research to support blood type diet is an effective weight loss strategy. So that's something to think about. Emphasizing of whole foods. So each blood type plan emphasizes choosing whole foods over processed foods, which makes sense. The program also offers a wide variety of compliant foods for some of the blood types, which you mentioned, which may make it easier to stick with. So kind of like some folks struggle with what should I eat for dinner? If you decided to follow along this blood type diet, you would be in a better position to be able to make the foods that work better for where you sit with your blood type. And then it can be a well-rounded choice. Even though each blood type comes with its own set of dietary restrictions, the program is not a low-calorie diet with unhealthy restrictions on calorie intake. So plans for types B and AB blood type are more well-rounded and can provide most, if not all, the necessary nutrients for a well-balanced diet. However, the plans for types A and O restrict certain healthy food groups, which may not be a smart long-term eating plan for many people. So again, I think rough. That boils down to the fact that you really need you can take this and mull it over, but then go and make an appointment with a nutritionist, a dietitian, and be able to work on your specific food plan for your specific body, regardless of your blood type. You're going to have your own nuances that have to come into consideration. Now, some cons listed on the site are as follows. It's not effective. As mentioned before, there isn't per se a research that's supporting that if you follow a specific blood type diet, that is going to result in effective weight loss. So for those who are interested in that, we are getting to summer season soon, and everyone's like, ooh, I got to get snatched and all that good stuff. this may not work for you. So that's that. This isn't based on science, according to the article. Eating for your specific blood type is not rooted in science. The available research on any blood type diet includes a study published in a journal. Anyone following some of the diets, no matter their blood type, may either see benefits or no changes, according to this study. And the study is in the journal PLOS 1 in 2014. And then also another con mentioned is it requires unsubstantiated supplements. So although proponents of the blood type diet suggest that the use of dietary supplements can help people following the diet plan meet their nutritional needs, such supplements are not regarded as a reasonable substitute for a healthy, balanced meal. So I guess for those who take supplements in conjunction with the advice or the regimen of their blood type diet, maybe that's not a long-term plan for you. And then again, another con that was listed is that some could perceive some of the diet plans as restrictive, and that may or may not work for you. Right? So I think, again, it's going to be personally specific. Some folks are really good with sticking to, they can do just baked chicken and quinoa and kale, and they can do that 5 or 6 days a week. And for some, that's just too restrictive. They're not into it. Maybe they can't even eat chicken as according to their blood type diet plan, right? So the restrictions make it harder generally. So you, again, work with a dietitian, work with a nutritionist, figure out what you're looking to do. Also, are you looking to gain weight? Are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking for weight management? Are you looking to gain muscle, right? All those additional factors also play a role into this as well.
Yeah, that's the thing to think about. My own pros that I could think of if you want to go and follow this blood type eating is that it might actually be good for your health. So maybe it's not great for weight loss, but maybe it's just good for your gut health. I mean, I don't know for sure. I know there's not enough
the
studies aren't there, but it's interesting. You when you do this for yourself, you might find that you feel like you feel lighter all the time. So that might be a reason to stick with it. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta do your own studies because just because they do a study, that doesn't mean it's quite right for you. So besides talking to a professional about this, you can actually just try some of the food groups and see what happens and just say, wow, I feel a lot better when I kind of stick to the routine of eating what's recommended. So
living on the edge. Yep.
I mean, you're not on the edge. You're living an empowered life.
Well, on the toilet, potentially. It just depends.
Well, if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But it could go right too. I don't know.
Well, or it could go a little bit more challenging.
The key is how does it make you feel?
Yourself,
and how does it make it feel? How do you feel after you're doing it? And how do your test results come up after you get some blood work done? That's how you could know that maybe this is working. Second thing that I thought about is that you could actually figure out which foods are just likely to cause you pain, because there are definitely, everybody has a food that they can't take, right?
Yes.
So following this little chart here that the doctor provided can actually get you closer to figuring out what those foods are instead of just eating what you eat and just seeing what happens. You can just follow the diet and see if it works for you.
Okay.
Now, cons are, I mean, you mentioned it before, but it's definitely a big thing, is there's just not enough research available on eating in this manner.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that, I mean, it's kind of with the restriction, but even more specific than that, you might not be able to eat one of your favorite foods if you follow the guide. What if you love, chicken or something, and it says don't eat the chicken?
Or even better, flan.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on there, if you can't eat certain dairy stuff. But
it's for a whole wheat sandwich.
I forgot. So there's I just thought of another pro, Joe, just from this. Now you don't have to eat one of your hated foods as well, because
okra?
No, for blood type O's, it recommends us not to eat beans.
I don't hate beans. You hate
beans. No, you do. You hate beans that are healthy. You like beans if they're covered in sauce, but you don't like if it's just straight up beans.
You're throwing shade at me right now like this.
No, I'm just saying though, we don't like beans. Really.
I got you.
No, I don't like beans either. I would take it with the good sauce.
You.
I don't like beans at all.
I'm glad that you've made that declaration.
No, but I'm just saying this is what helps us.
Speak on your behalf, sir.
I'm speaking on all blood O types. I speak for all blood types. I do.
No, you're not.
How can't I?
All blood type.
Only based on this research. Only on this research, it says you shouldn't like it. You shouldn't eat it. Yeah, but
what if there are some who crave it?
Exactly. Well, then it's a con for you because now you can't eat your favorite food.
Now they can't.
But for most blood O types, they can be happy and rejoice. They're not recommending beans.
What is this, church?
Because I've talked about on previous episodes about the magical fruit. So that's the thing. You don't want to eat it and toot. So you gotta have a reason that you can get around it. And here's your perfect out now.
I'm so tired of
you do it for your blood type. You do it just by your blood type.
Magical fruit so that you can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what are you referring to?
It's the beans. That's what I'm saying.
That's the magical fruit?
Yes, it's a magical fruit. You can get away from it, though. That's the thing.
Who told you that was a magical fruit?
That's how the rhyme goes.
That's how you learned about it?
No, that's how the rhyme goes. I don't know if it's a nursery rhyme.
I don't
know. That's the rhyme.
Magical fruit that makes you toot?
The more you eat it, the more you toot. Yeah.
I'm so tired.
There's a lot of bean songs, though. Little bean rhymes. That's one of them.
I cannot.
Yeah, I mean, I forget. There's a lot of them.
Not
Khalil. But that's a good one to remember, so you know.
The magical fruit. Don't tell KJ this.
It is. Even he knows too. He tries the beans. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm a blood type O. That's not recommended for my type."
That's exactly what he says.
Yeah, he looked at it. He's like, "Guys, this is not recommended for the blood O type." Yeah, he just says that in general. He's like pontificating on an idea. He's not speaking directly to us.
Okay, because there's more than guys in the room. Yep.
But that could,
yes, that's
we're not getting into that. But he's saying it as a group. He's saying it towards all of humanity. It's not the most
inclusive phrase.
He's a child. Like he doesn't know the difference between inclusivity or nothing. Yeah. All he knows is that bean is a magical fruit that he cannot.
And that didn't make him toot.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "I'm not tooting my tutor." So.
And with that, anything else to add?
Yeah, but that's good. I found out that though is that now I have a good reason to say, hey, I can't have beans. That's not for my blood type. So now I'll do that. Hold the beans. Blood type O can't take that. So good that's actually a really good pro.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Like that. That's a really great one. Now you don't have to eat all these foods.
No beans.
Yeah, see, O means no to beans. Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's a good revelation.
Okay.
I don't know if it holds up in court, but at least you do have it.
Something for court.
Quite yet. If your court mandated to eat like a set of beans.
I'm so tired. So
it'd be rough.
Do you currently practice in your eating habits? Do you eat in accordance with your blood type? If so, how's that working for you? And if not, would you want to?
Yeah, I definitely don't eat from my blood type. Not necessarily on purpose. Like I've only heard of this recently.
Okay.
So there's no way I could have really done it, but just looking at what the food groups are recommended, I do actually lean towards those recommended food types. So it's like I'm not purposely trying to eat from my blood type, but just by sheer, it just seems sheer, luck that I am actually eating a lot of the foods that are recommended.
Okay.
So I like meats. I'm really into that. I love to eat that. And as we were just talking about, we had a whole discussion. I don't like beans or lentils. And those aren't recommended for my blood type or our blood type.
Yep.
So I'm kind of following the diet just by chance. And the weird thing is the reason I wouldn't want to follow is I do actually like breads, and I know they don't recommend it for my blood type. And I do try to not consume as much bread as I used to, but I like breads. I can't deny that.
It's yummy.
Breads can be really tasty. So. If I was to follow this diet, I would have to do some cheat days.
Yeah.
Like, I would, not always, but just sometimes I'm going to have some bread. I might want
pizza.
pizza, or I might want hamburger with a bun instead of bunless. Yeah. I might want that. So
or you could do the
lettuce, right?
The lettuce, yeah.
I wonder if lettuce is even recommended for the blood O types. I don't know.
We'd have to do more digging.
Yes, I'm not sure. So I don't even know if that would be recommended. But that'd be my thing. Figure out
what type of greens are recommended. Is it dark greens or like the kale situation, and spinach, or is it more like the salad and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one actually. But
we'd have to dive deeper there.
That's my take.
For me, I would also agree with you. I think we naturally, as we work on our own weight loss as well as weight management, we have leaned in our household towards heavier on the meats and reduction in carbs and sticking to kind of meats and veggies for our meals. And I would say that we have, like, when we do it and we take the time to reflect, we feel better. We feel better from a caloric consumption perspective, as well as feeling like if you are going to have a cheat, like if we are going to have some dairy or something like that, we have made space in the day to be able to do that, as opposed to like consuming a lot of gluten throughout the day and then feeling so heavy and full that you're like, oh no, this is just bad. So yeah, I like it. I feel good about it. I would say to what we've discussed today, I would actually be encouraged. I feel encouraged to dive a little bit deeper. Maybe take out the book from the library and figure out like what are other things. Source. Well, yeah. I mean, to the point mentioned earlier, like, can we have belly issues and stuff? Yeah, absolutely. So I would rather reduce the time tuning and really and maximize my time eating and enjoying life and not eating things that are going to be triggering in a negative way for us, like nutritionally speaking.
Yeah. I was trying to think of that other bean song, but the problem is I forgot the first part of the rhyme. But
the mysteries of life.
But see, somebody probably knows it though.
Put it in the comments. I'm deeply eager to hear this. But that magic fruit, that's a new one. I have never heard anyone say that to me.
You've never heard that rhyme?
In my entire life. I thought you were talking about something like psychedelic in nature. I was like, what are you referring to?
It shows you that magic does exist though. Like people aren't certain.
I'm so tired.
No, when you have a bean, because it gives everybody that same feeling.
Going to the bathroom is magical.
the substance in itself, because it has an effect on you like no other. Just think of that.
I like burritos.
Yeah, see, and it contains that magical substance. That's the thing. It can.
And then
doesn't have to, but
and all of those good stuff. Yep.
That's why for my burritos, I always say, hold those beans.
Hold the magic fruit.
I don't need that. You know why?
That's what you should say.
I don't need that much magic in my life. Yep. That's why.
Tell them, hold the magic fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope someone laughs in your face.
They'll know.
I'm sorry, sir. Excuse me.
Oh, if you say that, you probably get like a special prize.
They might kick you out because they might think something's different.
No, they won't. They're like, oh wow, you're the first. Because sometimes you go to restaurants.
If I could pay you to say that, I would.
But if you say, sometimes you say a secret phrase at the restaurant, they give you something special.
Exactly. But I want you next time we're
ordering from Chipotle. It might be a special phrase.
Please. No to the magic fruit.
Or it could be any burrito place. It doesn't have to be a specific
Shout
place.
Out to Chipotle.
It could be any place that offers burritos.
Shout out to them. They have excellent guacamole.
Right, you're calling them out specifically.
Excellent guacamole.
But I don't know if they have the magical phrase that'll give me a special thing at the end. I really
hope you say that next time. I will pay you money.
Just to say that? Then they'll
please
know exactly.
Hold the magic fruit.
The magical fruit.
The magical fruit.
It's magical. It's not magic fruit, but it's a magical fruit.
Yeah, please say that next time.
It's not magic fruit, it's magical.
I'm tired.
Yeah, there's a difference between that.
Good for you.
Oh, I gotta think of the rhyme again, but alright. Because the other rhyme is the original rhyme. Okay. The magical one is the newer rhyme.
If you remember it in time, we can share it with the episode. And the episode notes.
Yeah. Here we go, yo. So what's a scenario? It's scenario time. Scenario 1. Enola is currently on the keto diet, but found out that eating for her blood type would conflict with her current diet. Should she veto the keto?
Smart. We're being clever today.
Yeah, okay.
Veto the keto.
Yeah.
What is this? Now food plans are becoming political? Tired.
Oh, man.
So tired.
That just seems to fit this current political climate.
It was magically fruit.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So I would say that if she... that's interesting. It would depend... My answer would... You remember it?
Yeah, I remember
it.
But you want to hear it before the answer?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yep. Beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat them, the more you fart.
You're an embarrassment. You're a complete embarrassment to yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I just remembered it, though. I'm like, that's the original one. And then that fruit one came up.
I'm so glad the noggin is still working well. Yeah.
See, that was important to say, though.
I prefer the magical fruit.
You don't like the first one? I know the first one's a little hard.
Yeah.
But at least it's nice, though, because it's good for your heart.
The more that you fart.
Yeah, and I know it ends that way. It is a kid's rhyme. That's the thing. It's for kids.
That's for children.
Yeah, it actually is for children. Shameful. There's a whole book on farting, right?
We do have a book that's called Everybody Farts, and it's almost everybody farts. I think it's called.
Yeah, it says almost everybody farts.
It's such a good book. KJ loves it, and I like to make fart noises.
Well, you do those noises, yeah. So then he likes it.
He has such a good time. It was so fun reading that. We digress. So to answer your question, to answer this scenario, I would want to know, how has the keto diet been working for her? So for instance, even if it's in conflict with her blood type, if she's been feeling good, if she's been feeling more energized, if she feels like it's really been a value add to her life, then that would help me change my answer. So can you speak to this scenario? Is the keto diet working, or too soon to tell?
It's too soon to tell.
Okay. But is it actively hurting her? Is she?
No, she's feeling better every week that she's been on it.
Not fully sure if it's due to the keto diet, right?
Well, not that, but even with the keto, there's some problems that people have. They're not getting all the nutrients they need. True. So she might be in that situation, but she doesn't know it yet, though. All she knows is that she does feel better every week after doing the keto, but not necessarily know if this is actually good for her health.
Well, that's super helpful, extra context. So I would say that probably the best decision Enola should do is to schedule an appointment with a dietitian and a nutritionist, and be able to walk through what would be the pros and cons of staying on the keto versus switching over and changing things to follow a blood type diet that is more appropriate for her, and then she can make that decision with the professionals in the room.
Okay, I think she should just stick to the keto and just carry that out, and she can talk to the professionals if she hasn't already, but I would say just at least give it a couple months to see how that works out. Okay. But I mean, definitely make sure the keto diet's not negatively impacting you. So yeah, you do have to consult with someone to make sure everything is working out, but at least do it for a few months. I don't think you should go off it. I don't think you should try this new thing so quick. Just let's see what the keto is doing for you.
Finish out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next thing you got to think about is, do you want to be on the diet or do you want to make a lifestyle change too? So that's what you're going to have to get to as well. So I'd say think about that. Scenario 2. Charlatan was told by a friend that eating for your blood type would ensure you stay at a healthy weight. Charlatan wants to know if simply eating for his blood type will ensure his weight stays in the range recommended by physicians worldwide.
Ooh, interesting. So as mentioned earlier in the episode, there isn't signs that suggest that blood type diet is correlated to weight loss or weight management. So no, this would not guarantee or ensure that he remain at the healthy weight as recommended by physicians worldwide. And also I would comment that language seems a bit problematic because, like, if this is in any way connected to BMI, some argue that BMI metrics should be changed because the numbers that are stated for BMIs, like what is an appropriate BMI based on your height and your weight, can be problematic. So I would, again, work with a professional to really understand what is the appropriate weight for him and his body type and his nutritional needs, and then explore what are nutritional opportunities that would really foster that healthy weight maintenance that he's looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if just eating just because it's following your blood type will do anything to keep you within that recommended range. So I think you're really just going to have to, for here, you're going to have to, well, I mean, you could talk to a professional. That's the best thing to do, but you also could just try eating less calories or eating more, depending on which way you're trying to go, and try to find that balance. I mean, you could start actually counting calories as well if you really are trying to hone in on just keeping weight. Sounds
like a party.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. It's a better way to spend your days than actually getting work done.
Or tooting, yeah.
I mean, well, that's different. Like, if you're a blood type O, you can escape. Well, you cannot can escape the toots. You can at least, but you can escape a magical substance that helps, or like give you that no matter what.
Stop before you started on that one.
No, it's a different substance, so at least you could escape that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of this, just because you eat for your blood type doesn't necessarily mean that you'll keep in the range recommended. Because just think about it. What if you just hone in on one specific food that it recommends? I don't think you're going to get all your nutrients, and you could overindulge on that if it's a food that's higher in fat or something, or if it's lower in fat and you're not getting enough. So I don't think that you could just boil it down to like, just eat for your blood type and your weight's going to be perfect. Like, and then what does that mean too? That's something that you're not really sure of, right? You can't really say what that really is. Scenario 3. Kaida watched a talk show that was discussing eating for a specific blood type. She scoffed at the program and threw her remote controller in the trash because she feels it is nonsense. Since she regularly speaks to a dietitian who has helped her stay in good health, is her reaction justified?
Are you trying to make fun of someone that you know in your real life?
No.
Okay. Scoff and nonsense seems randomly specific for the scenario.
And that person throws remotes in the trash can too?
Not necessarily, but definitely.
So that makes it a whole different person no matter what. Okay. Even if it was based on somebody, it can't be because they don't throw it in the trash can.
I know that there's someone in this room
who
likes to say the word nonsense.
So we're in a room now. Is that what you're claiming?
Where do you think we are, Khalil?
I mean, you just put it out there. I don't know. We could be anywhere.
Where are people typically if they're indoors?
We're indoors now. See, I mean, you're adding a lot of information. I didn't know where we were. We could be in outer space.
Have you lost your mind?
It could be on a space shuttle. You're saying
recording a podcast. Exactly.
Exactly. They don't know if we're on a trip to the moon. I mean, now you've outed us. They never asked that. We never said it, but now it's obvious we're not.
I guess that's the extra information.
Or what if we're on? We could be on a rocket towards Mars. I mean, we could be just broadcasting from years ago. They don't know.
Are you done?
I'm not on a tirade or anything. I'm just trying to say, you're saying we're here in this room, but it could have been anywhere. We could have been outdoors in a wilderness. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Just saying.
Kaida?
Yeah.
Kaida. So, her reaction is, I wouldn't say I couldn't say it was justified. It seemed very, reactive to the program that she was watching. Now, maybe it seemed also like it was triggering for her. So, to be honest, I would want to know why exactly. You know, maybe she did deem this as nonsense, but why would you throw out potentially a remote controller that is working into the trash can? It seems not like, I wouldn't want to use the term overreaction because I think that people love to like minimize people or like tell them that your reaction wasn't warranted. And, you know, we're all entitled to our reactions. Maybe you agree or disagree, but we shouldn't try to take experiences away from people. But I would say that we should not try to purposely waste money or purposely destroy property if we can avoid such actions.
But I just would like to point out that I love people that destroy their own property. It's absolutely hilarious to me.
Well, I'm glad that you're tickled pink by it.
Like, I love that. When people throw their controller in disgust, I love it.
Okay.
It's because to me, it's so nonsensical.
Okay.
Because you're destroying your own thing. As long as you're not injuring somebody, then it's not funny. Like, don't hurt somebody and don't hurt yourself. But if you're just breaking your item, I mean, that to me that's the funny part. Not injuring anybody in the process. But like doing that, it's just because you're hurting yourself with that, right? It's like you're mad. Now you did something else. Are you going to be mad later again? I mean, you're just
potentially.
You're not setting yourself up for success, right?
Yeah. I would say that if she felt grounded in the information that she shares and is shared with her from her dietitian, I'm not quite sure why this content that she was observing was so triggering to her to make her react this way. It seems like when people react so violently to something, it's as if they aren't confident or comfortable with whatever their stance is on something. So this to me seems like she needs to emotionally explore why she was so tripped up by this content that she observed. And then if she vehemently is against blood type eating habits, then don't apply it in your life. I think that's the beauty of life. We don't have to, you can learn about something and say, good for you. That's not for me. That's, and move on. I don't know why we have to be up in arms about something. So I don't want to label justified, non-justified, but I would say that, to be honest, I think that that's an opportunity to try to emotionally explore what's going on, because it seems very more violent than necessary.
All right. I'll just to kind of, so you can see from Kaida's point of view, what if you're watching a program that was about a church that excludes people of color? Would you then think she's justified in doing the same action?
I mean, that's hard because you're asking and through the lens of a biased person. As a black woman, of course, I would find anything that is discriminatory around black people or women to be violent. Like I would have a more angered response to something like that, but that's because of my own personal bias, which is not, that's specific to me, may be completely irrelevant to someone who's not a part of either of those communities. So,
but doesn't it then make sense that you can react to programming in such a violent manner?
But does that justify the reaction? I think that's a really interesting question, because that's me judging based on, through my bias and my lens, what I think is appropriate. And I'm not the arbiter of life. I'm not, the be all say all of what people should do and not do. I can tell you what I want to do, but I cannot sit here and judge what other people should be doing. It's not for me, right? That's not.
But you can't even recommend,
I can provide a recommendation. I would say that I would recommend that no one throw remote controls when watching content, because to your point, you can damage your own property, which is going to be a cost at a later date. And also you risk potentially harming other people that may be in the room. So that's a lose-lose proposition. So I would not recommend throwing the remote controller. If you're so upset, turn off the channel and go and do something else. That would be my recommendation.
You can't directly answer if it's justified, because you're not the arbiter of truth, you're saying.
I'm saying that I don't want to sit in a space of judgment, because in that space, she, in her mind, that might have been the only reaction that was possible and feasible for her. But that doesn't mean, at that time, that that's all that she'll be capable of. She made that to me is indicative of an opportunity for emotional growth and emotional impulse control. And so there, maybe a year from now, her response would be to turn off the television, or to maybe mute it and maybe send a text to a friend and talk through it. Maybe she won't always be in that space. Is it the best response? I can tell you, I don't think it's the best response, because, like I said, there's an opportunity for property damage and also harm of others, which is not ideal and not wanted. But to sit here and say justified, not justified, is just being in a space of judgment, and you or I and no one is an arbiter of life. We should not be sitting here judging people based on what should and shouldn't be done. Can you assess legality of things? If something is criminal in nature, absolutely. But justification of behavior, who are you to do that?
Well, I think I'm a co-host of Wokenfree, so I may be able to do that. Nice. I think that kind of gives me that. That gives me the card.
The golden chair that you get to sit at. Throne.
I have actually, that's a form of certification.
You love judgment, though, and you love a form of certification. Hello.
Self-certification, yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I mean, the certified arbiter of truth. You are not
WokenFree certified. You don't make no sense.
But I'm saying, as a co-host of WokenFree, I can sit on a throne and make judgment calls.
So we are actually living Game of Thrones then. So this is like the circle of truth, moment it all comes full circle, I guess.
So just think about that. Who would be on
a golden throne?
Who do you think they would elect to the Council of Truth, though?
Not you.
Would it be WokenFree co-hosts, or would it not be? Would they be a part of the group? That's all I'm asking.
You really do want this world to just go into divergent land, don't you? Pick your faction or be factionless. I'm
just thinking people that talk about such varied topics, they should have a hand at what is right and wrong in this world.
Can you not see that type of privilege and sitting and justification of others is how we've arrived at where we are in our society?
But I think the problem is we haven't allowed everybody the chance to make those.
How can you? How can you have 7+ billion people weigh in on something?
Really easily with social media now. You can do it really easily. That's what's going to be interesting.
Why is that the
If we want to do it by majority rules, though.
Is that helpful?
You got to decide if you want it to be a democracy.
And how is KJ's voice being heard? Right?
It'll eventually
How are children's voices being heard?
Their voices will eventually be heard.
The point is, we need to get away from the space of judge not thyself.
Because the problem is, if you don't judge, then everyone's just going to walk around doing what they want.
So no, judgment free does not mean lawless. It does not mean without regulation or rules. What it means is I'm not going to sit here and be telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing. Because
but that would help you avoid the breaking the law too.
Some
right?
people
it can help you with
felt that way about white and black people getting together and having babies. People feel that way about a different sexual orientation.
And look, the law is wrong too, but you're saying but the law is wrong too. So I'm saying
versus judgment are two different things. I don't think it's a healthy space. I don't think it's very woken free to be sitting and to be in the judgment of others. I really don't think that that's a proper space to allow full breadth of creativity and expression of life. I think that's when you start to really curtail how people think, how people act, all of that.
I think about the part about being free is being free to speak your mind though as well. So that's the problem, to say now we have to cut off our lips because we can only be woke in our lives and not have the freedom part.
You can be free, but why does freedom have to come with judgment? It seems to be contrary.
It's called judgment, but it could be advice as well. I advise you not to do that.
The question is her reaction justified? Yeah. So this is a justification response you're looking for.
Yeah, here it is.
Which means you are requiring judgment. In this scenario.
Well, in this scenario. That's why I'm saying in this
scenario, I, woken freely, refuse to comply.
And I just freely agree to comply.
Well, you love judgment. So there's no surprise there.
Okay. Well, it's only because I follow our ancient ancestors who use judgment in all of their practices.
Life progresses.
So
I would encourage you to.
I don't know. I mean, the ancestors, they may not be in the spirit world. They may be there, but either way.
Yeah, Johnny Mufasa.
They knew that sometimes you did have to make the judgment call, and Mufasa is not there. You know that. Mufasa is not part of the ancient ancestors in the spirit world.
Stop making your
Mufasa
judgment
lives
calls,
in the star. That's what he went to. You see him in the stars. He's not in a spirit world.
If you're wondering where this has gone, please see previous episodes where I talk about Mufasa from Lion King. But okay, so your judgment is you think
my judgment is she is unjustified in breaking her property.
Okay.
If she filmed herself doing it, then it's justified because I can have enjoyment from it. But if she doesn't film herself doing it, it's unjustified because she's just breaking her property and no one gets to laugh at it. So that's not good. So that's what I'm saying.
Are you joking right now?
No, I'm saying the truth. It's kind of like, just think about on TikTok when people film themselves doing foolish behavior. That makes it justified because at least someone could laugh at it. But if they just did it and there was no camera, then why are they doing that? It makes no sense. And that's
the same attitude where people will film other people without their consent because they say, hey, the content value of this is too good. And thus, without the consent, we have a whole world tuning in and making judgments and laughing and victimizing.
The law gets interesting about what you can film and not film and where you can film and not film. So you got to follow your local jurisdiction laws because there's some places where you can openly film. I mean, that's public property.
Of course.
And if you're caught on film doing funny stuff, then you're going to go up on
just sucks
the internet. Yeah, like it happens. So things happen in life.
Life is interesting.
So, I mean, that's an interesting. Now, should you go around trying to film people doing stuff? I mean, there's something different about you if you're doing that. But
here you are with judgment. Yeah.
I'm just saying it's different. Not everybody does that. That's all I know. Everybody doesn't go around looking for people to do funny stuff. You're saying I can't make it like that. See, like to say you can't make a judgment on that is like, that's
no, it's you can hear in the tone and in what you're implying.
And even like people, like let's say criminals that go out scoping houses, I can't make a judgment on them. That's not good behavior, but that's literally me judging them.
Scoping out houses is...
I'm judging, and I think you would judge them too, not that you say it out loud, but someone scoping out houses and saying,
scoping out houses seems... I would want to look at like local criminal like laws to understand like what would be any infractions that could occur from that behavior, but I just think that seems civilly irresponsible and criminally suspect.
Or what about the people that
behavior?
I think it's called dong and ding or ding and dong.
You know what, Khalil?
No, where the person rings your doorbell and they leave a bag on fire and there's actually poo in it, and then you go and you stomp the fire out and you stomp on the poo. Like, is that
and people film that? And
that used to be a big thing. That they did that. So is that
ding and dong?
Yeah, it was something funny like that. For a good reason, they called it that. But it's a messed up thing. See, Now, is that you're not going to judge the person who did that?
What party am I judging? Am I judging the person stomping on feces?
No, of course you can't judge them because there's a fire on their porch. Of course you're going to do that. Okay. No, and not the filmer, the person who came up with the plan to do that. Okay. Yeah, you're going to look and be like, they're living their best life. You can't say that about them. No, they're not. They're ruining someone's morning.
What I'm saying is, I think that the world would be better off with less judgment and more behavioral things that are more meaningful. I just don't see the value of sitting and being like making a judgment of that person.
So here's I'd say you don't need to judge. It's kind of like I don't have to judge you on taking an art class, right? That's on you can do it.
But see how we're getting nuanced and subjective.
It should be nuanced because there's things that aren't nuanced, like the ding dong dang dang. That thing is not.
I'm so tired. You're foolish.
I don't know what it's called,
You're
but
such a liar.
No, I'm not. You can look it up, and we could put links to the video. Wow, man, I wonder if they've taken them down.
Absolutely
I don't know.
Not.
Yeah, but it's a real thing. But either way,
what I'm saying is the world would be better served with less judgment. Do I understand the need and the want to judge? Yes, but
it's going to happen too. People know.
The problem is judgment. It's to what end, right? And like I said, that's when you can get into
everything
the space
is nuanced in life.
Should these people be together? Should this person pursue this career? Should these people
everything is nuanced.
be
that's what life is
parenting
about.
this way? And that's the problem. Is too many places of judgment that is more harmful than not.
It's impossible.
I think you and I will agree to disagree on where we stand on judgment.
What I would say, it's impossible to live in a judgment-free world, is what I would.
Oh yeah, because human beings are biased, and we're agents of chaos. So of course,
but you're saying human beings, but I would say life itself is judging. It's going to make judgment calls. The animals do it all the time. They judge their others as weak and going to pull down the pack. They get rid of it. So I wouldn't say it's a human problem or a human thing.
Well, we can only speak from the perspective of us, and even the plants, platypus, right?
Like bacteria might do it as well. I think they say.
Thankfully, you can't relate, right? So.
You gonna say that? What about viruses? They're gonna make judgment calls. You can
relate to a virus?
No, but I'm saying you saw the movie War of the World. Wait, not that. It's the one with Brad Pitt. With the zombies.
Oh, I love that film. Yeah, isn't it War of the World? No, it's World
War Z.
World War Z.
So you saw that. So see how the viruses made judgment calls? We're gonna go, I shouldn't have ruined it for people. Alert. But the virus did make judgment calls for some reason. It did, and you could see that. I didn't say what it was, but it made a judgment call.
I still think we agree to disagree on making judgments. Now, if you feel like
so you think the viruses are wrong, they should be judgment-free.
Do you want to have a separate episode on this? Because otherwise I don't understand the point of continuing.
Yeah, it seems like it could be a whole episode on should we live in a judgment-free world.
They're okay. Then we'll bring it to WokeNFree Nation. And
bring it to the tables of the WokeNFree Council.
Well, apparently we'll bring it to your golden throne.
It's not my golden throne. You sit there too.
No, I do not sit on your judgment throne. I would rather stand.
You have your own throne.
Thank you very much.
No, you have your own throne.
Then my throne says this is not a throne, and there is no judgment.
Yeah, everybody can stand there with you. That's your throne. Mine is it's an individualized one.
Good for you.
It's personalized. It kept warm.
And it's surrounded by dragon eggs. Yep.
Wow, careful.
Okay then.
Because what are those eggs, or are they magical fruits?
I'm so tired. We are at that time again. It's coming to our 294th episode of WokeNFree. Quite the episode where we essentially wanted to talk through and discuss, are you eating for your blood type? So, Khalil, what do folks have to do now?
They know what they gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
Perfect. So if folks would like to share their stories or have something they want to promote to the WokeNFree Nation, we'd love to hear from you. Best way to get in touch with us is our contact us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokeNFree.com. Again, on social, you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And Khalil?
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.